Aprilia Shiver, kind of interesting bike. Thought it would be a little bit more sporty, kind of like a smaller scale Tuono, but it's more of a sporty standard. So it's 750cc V-twin, quite a bit of grunt. Feels like they built more grunt in than top end power, so if you're expecting something like a Ducati 749 engine, it's not going to pull on top quite as hard as that. But it's got good accessible power, especially in sport mode. If you take it out of sport mode and there's touring or rain is just dog slow. Touring, quite usable, maybe good for 2-up riding actually. But in sport mode, quite peppy if you're aggressive with it. It's kind of cool. This bike's got the different modes, and you can commute on this and sport ride on it. It's kind of a good bike. It's got a really open riding position. Pegs are surprisingly far forward, and yet barely dragged them on the roads here around Malibu. Interesting electronics package, full throttle by wire, and that gives that opportunity to have the sport, touring, and rain settings. It also makes the throttle feel a little bit weird sometimes when you're getting on it. You're asking for something the bike doesn't want to give you. Especially in tour mode. Not really a big drawback, but something definitely noticeable. Really a useful motorcycle that you could really do almost anything on.
Siblings. E. coli.
One of the odd things about the Shiver is it's quite a comfy bike, and yet the front brakes, radial mount calipers and steel braided lines, a little bit aggressive, something that probably wouldn't get past the Japanese OEMs, but Italians do things a little bit different. Pretty abrupt bite, lots of power, but you gotta kind of have light fingers on it, maybe just one instead of two, certainly not your whole fist. One of the real special features of the Aprilia is its attention to detail. From front end to back end, there's really no component on it that looks lacking or cut rate or cheap or cheesy. Well, the ray gun exhaust may be a bit cheesy, but it's really finished beautifully, and really at the top of the game on that. The frame is really something special to look at. The headlight is a good looking unit that actually helps deflect a little bit of wind. Attention to detail on that you don't find on, let's say, the Street Cripple, which we'll be comparing shortly, is you've got actually a usable passenger seat with grab rails, and if you look, the rider's foot pegs are covered with rubber, so are the passengers, with nice weighty mounts to damp out vibration. It's a really well thought out design. Its drawbacks really are few. Suspension, basically. I'd like to see some more adjustability. Rear shock only has rebound damping, and it's kind of limited. The electronics package too is pretty good. It's got a trip computer, so you can see average fuel economy. You can see the highest speed you attained. Don't show the cops that one. It's a clever piece, and like Pete says, very livable. Something you could stick in your garage and have as maybe your only bike.
So you'll pull into a drive-thru late at night. I'd like to get 2 tacos.